Hi, this is Ben from Garden Crossings, and today we're going to be planting up our AquaPots in the butterfly house. These are our AquaPots. They're a self-watering container, which means we only have to really fill them up once a week with water, and then it waters the plants pretty much from the roots up, which are really nice. Just a little thing about them, they have a little hole in the back here where you fill your water. It's got a reservoir, and the water sits at the bottom. Your soil's more in the middle to the top. They're super handy to have. That way you're not out watering your pots every single day, which can sometimes be a chore, especially in the summer when it's really hot out and that sun's just shining. So in this pot today, we are going to be planting a bunch of fun plants. We've got fishnet stockings coleus for more of our thriller in the back here. We are going to be doing, we've got diamond snow euphorbia for more of our mounding in the middle. More near the front here, we've got infinity, blushing lilac, and patience. And then around the edges for our spillers, we have Supertunia rose veined. We have one of my favorites is the Silver Falls. And then we have a really cool begonia here. We've got Bossa Nova Pure White, which is a really fun one too. So I'm gonna start planting this up.
So Ben, are you going to put that actual pot in the soil, or well, you just dumped it on the ground? But
So I am not, but these new AquaPots this year, you can plant directly into the soil. That's what they're made for. So they have these tabs on the bottom, and you break them out. That way all your roots can come out, and then you can simply just plant them into your container or the ground like that, and eventually they will biodegrade.
so that is kind of the plan with that pot. But from what we've experienced and are honestly recommending to customers is we aren't going to plant the pot in the container because it just really doesn't seem like it makes a whole ton of sense to do that. But it can be done if somebody wants to. We're going to just put that in our compost bin and compost the pot.
The main reason I don't want to do them in the container is because if you have the pot, you can't really shove those plants in. You're kind of restricted on the room. Where if I take this out, the soil's more squishy and I can really pack those into a container.
Right. So this just be noted that we really aren't recommending people plant that pot in the ground, but it is a solution for eliminating plastics. If you choose to, you can, but we're not going to do that here personally at Garden Crossings. So Ben, you're doing this so quickly. Like, don't you have to be careful with the plants?
No, the plants are not that fragile. I mean, sure, if you just rip this off, it'll do that. But most of your plants are very durable. You can just pull them out of the pot, throw your pot aside for cleanup later, and just shove them in. They will not mind that at all.
So would we consider this a sun combination or a shade combination?
This would be more of a shade. It'll handle sun, maybe not all day sun, but it can definitely be a good shade pot if that's what you're looking for.
So with the petunias, probably though we would want them to have at least 4 to 6 hours of sun.
Yeah.
Somewhere maybe part shade.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, all the plants too, even though he's using a lot of shade-ish varieties, they can handle the Michigan sun.
They can all handle the Michigan sun, yes.
So this is a really cool combination. I know like in the past we've done the coleus before and they get huge, which is great because that's what we're using kind of as our thriller. And that diamond snow, that's been a really cool plant over the years as well.
Yes, definitely.
And I like how you have the begonias kind of in there dangling over the edge.
Yeah, those should be a fun little accent for this pot. And hopefully the butterflies like it too.
Yeah. I mean, certainly with the petunias and stuff. It would be cool if we could get hummingbirds in here, but that's really inside a greenhouse. They do come in, not here in the garden center they do,
Yes.
but that would be cool to see. So, I mean, to be honest, there's nothing better than what he's got going on here right now. Like, just check out all those beautiful pots just scattered all over the ground, those little white tags. That's just really proof that there's some great plants in that container. So now, Ben, people might be thinking, holy cow, you put so many plants in that container. Like,
Yes.
that's just a holy cow.
That's a lot of plants.
So tell us what your thoughts are on that.
So the reason I like to do this is it's pretty much instant gratification. You get your pot full and packed and ready from the start. That's what we like to do here. Now, if you're just at home doing this and you don't want to spend this much money on plants for just one pot, you could definitely do half the amount of plants and they will fill in and still give you a nice dramatic pot. But we just like to pack them in, especially when the butterfly house opens. We want them to be ready and full.
Yeah, that looks great. So I think we have one more to plant up. So
Yes.
let's head over to that pot and see what you got designed for that.
All right, so we're over to our second pot now. This pot is closer to the entrance of the butterfly house. So I wanted a more dramatic effect to draw your eye right here. This planting is gonna be maybe a little bit more colorful than the last one and definitely a little bit more height. So with this one, we've got for our thriller, Color Blaze Lime Time Coleus. For our second thriller, I guess you could say, or mounding, we've got our unplugged pink salvia. We've got pinkberry blend lantana. And then we've got blushing princess. We've got Super Bell's tropical sunrise calabacoa. This is a really fun colored one that I like. And then we've also got this trailing Mizzou, which I thought would be kind of fun. It's kind of like almost succulent-like, but I think it'll be kind of fun in this pot.
It's always cool to see, like, you know, when you go from like what you're thinking and then in the end, like what it actually looks like.
Definitely.
And it changes. Like, it'll look different in April than what it will look like in
Yes.
September, which is cool too, I
Which
think.
is very cool. And this one also is going to be a nice smelling pot, I guess you could say, with your lantana. There's a definite scent to it. Even your coleus has the lime time has a little bit of a scent to it. So I'm gonna start planting this one up.
So when you're giving those pots a little squeeze, you're kind of cracking them too, right? And
Yeah, I'm kind of cracking them, just making sure I can get the whole root base out without breaking the top off or anything.
yeah, and it's okay that they crack, because obviously you're not
Yes.
going to use them again anyways.
Exactly.
And that is the point of them.
Yes.
Since we're going to throw them in the compost anyways, so we want to crack them down into smaller pieces so they break down faster. So now if you're a home gardener and you're planting up your pots, what I would recommend doing is hanging on to those tags, because that can be kind of a guide to next year. If you really liked the planter that you did, it's something you can hold on to so you can remember, you know, what you used, and or maybe there was a plant you didn't really care for, but then again, at least you kind of have your tag catalog that you can reference to see, you know, what did or didn't work. So we don't use the tags because obviously we change things up every year and we know what the plants are, but I would recommend for you home gardeners, keep your tags and use them as reference.
Yes, that's a great idea. And also take notes also on what likes the area or different things, because you might, you know, be thinking about it in the summer, and then in the fall, or like if you want to plant in the winter, or if you wait till the spring to plant, you might forget about what your garden looked like the year before. So it's always good to take notes and pictures.
Yeah, that's a great idea, pictures. And I mean, some of these plants, maybe not so much for this container, but a lot of times, like when I plant my home containers up, the plants, I'll see them and they look great in June, but by August, I don't even know the plants are in there because other things have totally taken over.
Definitely.
And I'm fine with that because it was great for when it was great, and the other things are looking great later on in the summer. Just kind of packing that soil in. So now that we've got these AquaPots, how are we going to, like, what's your first step going to be with watering them?
So with the AquaPots, I really like to first give the top a good water. Give it a good top water. Those roots haven't quite, I mean, they're still really young, so they haven't made it down into the soil yet to where that reservoir is. So I would even say for your first month, definitely give it a good top water once a week. And then after I do a nice top water is when I fill my reservoir up. And then how you know it's full is there's a little hole on the back side of each AquaPot, and you fill it up on just until water starts pouring out of this little hole, and then you know that it's full. Really good tip if you purchase one of these AquaPots is always put your fill tube right above your little hole down there, because once these pots get big, that tube gets buried and then you're trying to look for it, and it's just can be a pain. So.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip.
Yes.
So have we ever had it where where you're like, this pot has got to be full? I swear I've given it a ton of water, but nothing's draining out of that hole. So
Yes.
have we had that? And
We
what
have.
would we recommend?
So
that?
occasionally some particles of soil can block that hole. So what you would want to do is you can take a little stick or something and shove it in that hole. You can also just take your hose and blow some water in that hole, and it'll remove that debris, and then water will start coming out.
Perfect.
So,
No, I know we've had that.
yes, that
few
can
times
happen from time to time. Yeah, it always, yeah, it can happen a couple times
Yeah.
a season maybe, but yeah, I would recommend even maybe once a month, even if the water is pouring out, just take your hose, blow some water in there just to clean it out, and it should be good.
Yeah, because nothing worse than like an oversaturated pot that can't drain.
Yes,
because then you're going to just kill your
going to
plants.
rot all your roots, and it's not going to be pretty.
All right. Thank you for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and myself or Ben, he won't answer them, but I might have to go and ask him the questions if I don't know the answer. We'll be sure to get the answers below as well. If you're new to our station, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi, and this is Ben from Garden Crossings.